It is no longer news that Nigeria for decades has been grappling with crippling security challenges bordering on insurgency, terrorism, kidnapping, banditry, and other violent crimes which have threatened the very soul, stability, and fabric of our dear nation. Our questions and outright criticism have been raised as to the handling of these issues by successive governments, with many Nigerians, groups, and international organizations condemning the kid glove treatment of the perpetrators of these heinous acts and their sponsors, a situation which, according to the critics, has made Nigeria the favorite destination of international terrorist organizations from all over Africa and beyond. While the current administration of President Bola Tinubu insists that it is gradually and painstakingly winning the war against terror, the American President Donald Trump has recently delivered a harsh verdict stating that there is an ongoing genocide against Nigeria's Christian population, and he has threatened military action, amongst other sanctions, to protect Christians in the country. As the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria struggles to extricate itself of these allegations, with a pledge to welcome American and Nigerian mutual collaboration in ending the security challenge in the country, Searchlight this afternoon on Oluyole 98.5 FM will be weighing in and digging beyond the surface on this matter as we trash out the topic: alleged anti-Christian genocide and America's threat of military action in Nigeria. Yes, topic for Searchlight this afternoon: alleged anti-Christian genocide and America's threat of military action in Nigeria. My guest on the program this afternoon is an erudite lawyer, a barrister at law, and seasoned public affairs analyst, Barrister Bimpe Adelowo. You're welcome to Searchlight, sir.
Good afternoon, and our listeners across all platforms. I say good afternoon.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here again and to discuss the affairs of our nation.
Right, Searchlight is our regular Thursday afternoon live radio discussion program on BCOS Oluyole 98.5 FM, where we treat topical, national, and global issues. My name is Tola Teriba, your anchor on the program. Right, it's still Searchlight on Oluyole 98.5 FM. Barrister Adelowo, I want to start with this. From the point of view of international law, how much right do the Americans or the American president have to institute military action in a sovereign nation where that nation has not directly threatened American interests?
To large extent, the international law under the every nation under United Nations will know that we have particular regulations, especially to protect, we can call them vulnerables across all society. And one of those measures taken by international law is, and then the United Nations resolutions and some other treaties, is issue of designates a particular nation as a concerned country. And before it got to that, designating such a country, it shows that there are process that has to go with that, and it has a procedure. So, and if that procedure is concluded and all the requirement is met, it shows that the role that America want to take, especially as concerns Nigerian situation, is the usual role that the international law we definitely allow. We can see pockets of same thing around. The only thing we need to look at it, what is the morality? Because yes, America is a sovereign nation, Nigeria is a sovereign nation, but when the issue is getting out of hand, that a particular country, a sovereign nation, could not handle it effectively, to the extent that that a lot of crises or some other crisis that can even create what we call that can snowball to international crisis. You know, when issues of Libya started, we know a lot of, and we still feel the same. I mean, the same situation still persists till today, whereby we see a lot of people being maltreated, mishandled, even by the government of that country. We know how many Nigerians suffer in the hands of the authority of Libya and some other things. Now, the only thing we need to look at is USA the police of the world that need to effect whatever law that established under the international law and the United Nations treaties and resolutions. The answer needs to be given by the organ of the United Nations we call Security Council.
Well, people say that they are the United Nations. Now, you said there are processes, and yes, there should be processes leading to where we've gotten regarding the American president issuing these threats against Nigeria. But it's quite interesting that the same Americans do not seem to have seen what is happening in Palestine, where I mean the vulnerables in Palestine, the way the vulnerables are being massacred in that conflict. They've not seen what is happening in Sudan. It's interesting when you begin to wonder, why is Nigeria of particular interest?
Nigeria will become the particular interest for two reasons: one for economic reasons and political reasons. Yes, and the two is intertwined. So you can't separate the political interest and the economic interest from each other. You know that America has a lot of economic interest in Nigeria. And in terms of populations, being the largest black nations in the world, and what we regard as a gateway to all other African countries, and we can know that there is rivalry between the world powers on which territory they are controlling or they have interest and to protect their interest. We can know that we have Russia have interest in other smaller African country and backed up a lot of change of government in such country. We remember the issue of Niger. We remember the issue of Burkina Faso and some other places. And all those countries pulled out from ECOWAS by backing of the Russia. That is West African country. And we know that all these nations we mentioned before, they are colony of France. So, and many of them have interest. And you can discover that incursion of China in Africa. China is taking a lot of things. Going into so many societies, so many countries within Africa, and begins to taking over some other things. Yes, if China is talking, America is talking, then we need to look at who is fair in those two powers, because the issue of Nigeria concerns everybody. We know that Nigeria is greatly endowed. with mineral resources that are useful for the economy of those world power. Of course, Chinese in Nigeria deal, they are into mining and some other things, and they are into illegal mining and some other things. And you can see the mining site, a lot of things. That is the area that we normally have all this insurgency and banditry. So, the interest of America is to protect its own economic interest, to protect to protect his and to continue to further his strength among the Committee of Nations. You know that if America succeeded in handling the situations in Nigeria, he has already added another feather to his cap. And that will be a blow on all other world power, including China, that's coming to Africa to make sure that they protect their economic interest. You can see that Chinese is all over Africa, and doing what? Taking over the resources of Africa. So we don't have friends in those world power, but they continue to see African as their territory. I could not readily have the language I want to target.
Potential territory
by which they can do business and then go away and make sure they have a raw materials, resources, and to go on. Because the more they have influence, the more they have entry into African countries, the more their own society is growing, because they continue to turn whatever they take away from African land to finished good and then send it back
to us. Having heard you say this, now I want to ask how solid, viable, or sustainable are the other international options open to us in the event of a breakdown in relations with the Americans over this particular matter? China, the Russians, the EU countries. Where can we run?
With the programs, policies that we've seen on ground by Russia could have been a best option. Because running after Chinese has come here to. We can see what is happening in Burkina Faso. We see what is happening in Niger. There are a bit of, we can't conclusively say now, but with what we see, there is a bit of development and improvement. And I don't think there is too much incursion of Russia in all those countries. Unlike Chinese that want to, American that they want to. Of course, America is already established, is entrenched in Nigeria economy, because they have, in fact, they are the greatest investors in Nigeria, and then mostly in our oil and gas. They dominated those areas and some other aspects. So, and that is why whatever happens in Nigeria becomes. We remember under Obasanjo that African Unit Command, that America want to site it around Bakassi area, until Obasanjo intervened and said no, we don't need the African Command. Before the African Command, the command they use, I think it was cited in Germany to police the entire Africa. If there is any other thing, they will bring in, and then they said they want to bring it closer. And when they want to bring it closer, why not citing it elsewhere? Why Bakassi area, oil-rich area?
Possibly to tackle the French.
To tackle the French. So we don't have French. We have seen that French has colonized Africa. What is the result? American was the one colonized, I think, Liberia or what have you. What is the improvement we have in Liberia today? Even Liberia was war-torn area before the interventions of the ECOWAS and some other people, and the crisis in Liberia subsided. Now, Chinese have not colonized anyone in Africa, but we can see their activities within the Africa, that their own activities just to take over and continue to control. We can see their policies, even their labor policies in their various companies in Nigeria. You see, is slavery in nature. They use our people the way as animals. They don't have any regard. Does that, what we complain about Chinese, American, or what have you, happen in all other country that's backed up by the Russia? No. So the best option could have been Russia, when we understudy and we know where the interest of the Russia lies.
Okay, I want to also ask Barrister Adelowo, how do you rate the Nigerian government's reaction to the American threat? To me, it looks more like a pacifist reaction. The Nigerian government is on the defensive, which is back to the wall. I'm trying to lobby the Americans rather than calling their bluff over what.
You see, the problem is that Nigerian government is presently considered cannot call a bluff of Americans.
Why?
Because we are the one. We could remember that in 2014 we have a lot of issues at hand. Issue of disbanding insurgency during that time, the Chibok girls and some other things, and majorly the focus of attack then. It is later that the attack took another dimension. It was basically attacking. You remember that the meaning of, and I mean the ideology of Boko Haram sect is that the Western education is
sinful.
Is sinful. Is abomination. Is an haram. And then they they began to attack anything that relates to, and you know that Westerner, I mean the predominant religion in West is Christianity. And that is where they started from. But later on, the thing graduated from attacking Christian alone, and then begin to attack any area that has resources and some other things. And predominant, I mean, people that are in such area, they are Christian predominant area. We can even when you are talking about Kaduna, the area that attacked by Kaduna, we understand that Syria and in Syria, southern Kaduna, we know which type of religion dominate that side. Want to talk about Borno? Which area? Want to talk now? It is we Nigeria that we normally make sure that we destroy the government in power by lodging several complaints. Several petitions went to American embassy and some other things, and they started. In fact, it was 2014. The issue of Christian genocide started. When these guys came together, they want to form new political party, and they see that the only way they can make sure they destroy the party, I mean the party in power, is to fly the cart of genocide, especially as it will be affected and appealing to the American. You understand? They fly the cart of Christian genocide. And then, since then, America started compiling. And we have seen a lot of cases, a lot of incidents, whereby church what happened in Ondo, in Owo. What is the outcome till today? You see, if you want to complain about sin, if you want to be defensive, then you must have put in a lot of effort to be. For instance, if many people were attacked and then they were fished out, arrested and prosecuted, and they faced the wrath of law, nobody will complain that that government is docile or is backing such genocide. What happened with the North? All these Boko Harams, all these bandits, insurgents, immediately they said they arrested them. Later on, they will do the disarmament and then reintegrate them to the society without any punishment. The international world will think that we are not serious with fighting against insurgency and banditry because we promote, we condone, we tolerate, and we protect. And again, there are many other nations has already investigated, and they come up with several names. They sponsor the financiers of these banditries, of this insurgency, and some other things, terrorism. But the Nigerian government has failed to name them, to shame them, to prosecute them.
But now that you mentioned politics or the politicians in the course of our discussion, I was actually about to ask that don't you think it's strange that the political opposition in Nigeria, currently, and this current matter now, the Peter Obis, the articles, etc., have been embarrassingly quiet over this matter? Ordinarily, one would have expected them to take up this matter, especially for the purpose of gloating, scoring political points, and rubbing it in for the current government and the ruling party. So why is the opposition, over this particular issue, us versus Trump, not saying anything this time over this matter that concerns us all?
I think the wisdom, I want to see wisdom in their silence. You know why? Before America American threat, the issue of what do we call it? Coup. We have rumored coup.
Okay.
That if care was not taken, then that is why the opposition, the leading opposition now, which is ADC, then you please come out in clear terms. Let's know what's behind it, so that you will not continue to later on. You will begin to link all these phases of opposition to it. And now, I know that maybe the issue just started. Even when the government begins to talk, I was so surprised. Government that has not. I know that before the U.S. coup, made that threat, there must have been a signal before, even a month, 2 months before that time, that our government did not respond.
And they must have asked questions.
They must have asked questions. They have embassy here. Their embassy is compiling report every day. And then they have a way of getting their own information. American citizen was kidnapped sometime 2 or a year ago. During the Buhari. And then without any answer, they came from America within shortest period, and then they rescued their citizens without any bloodshed.
They were in and out before we knew.
Before we knew it. So I think the wisdom for these political leaders we just mentioned, Peter Obi and some other, and Atiku, is to be very careful. I don't know whether we get that. Whether to rub it in upon the government to start making political statements about what is happening, or to continue to return missile to US, as many other people, speakers, and some other commentators have done. When I listen to so many commentators, I could not see qualities of mind, qualities of disposition in whatever they are being. They are being pushed by statements. They are being pushed by. They are so sensational about that. They are so emotional about that. The fact has to be. Truth has to be told. What analysis do we base our comment on? Let's remove Christian genocide. Is there no genocide in Nigeria? What happened in Benue? Recent time. What happened in Niger? Recent time. What happened in Kwara? Recent time. Let's forget whether he's targeted as a Christian or Muslim. They are all human being killed every day. What steps? The government will tell us that they've already decimated, they've already neutralized, but every day we still find these people within.
Well, Barrister, one thing, I'm still holding you down to the matter of the political opposition in the country. Some people are saying that perhaps these opposition politicians, including the ADC, I believe that is your party, are afraid of losing the political goodwill of the country's Muslim population, especially the northern Muslim population, who may also feel that the outburst of the American president is directed at them, having failed on his own part, President Trump, to also acknowledge that Muslims too are being murdered in perhaps the same proportion as Christians. So hence the reluctance of the opposition to say anything, especially that which would favor the position of the Americans.
You know that I made mention something the other time. It suits the leadership of APC. It suits them in the run year 2 elections, that's 2013, 2014, to quickly jump and then use the situation then to curry favor of America by tagging what was happening then as Christian genocide. Now, the the opposition leaders are in dicey moments. As you've mentioned, their silence may be not to incur wrath of Northerner,
especially with the voting strength.
Number 2, maybe to sustain their goodwill with America. At least when they keep quiet, they've never issued any statement regarding that. But one thing is very sure, that I know that there are political undertone to whatever is happening. Even the standing of America still have political undertone, because it's as if since this government is in power, since this president is in power, I've never seen a day that this government has maybe cordial interaction with the American president. And that is a suspect on the American part. Maybe Americans feel that it can work with this president in power. Well, remember that during the Joe Biden, and think that is when President Tinubu got to power, and then they arranged a meeting between our president and Joe Biden. Later on, because of one FIB report, Joe Biden and his team, they canceled that expected meeting that the American president is supposed to have during the United Nations Assembly. And since then, have you ever seen our president travel to American and also to initiate any meeting with American president? Of course, as important as Nigeria is in Africa. You understand? So we can see that there is political undertone. The current party in power use similar thing to sway favor to their own side during the campaign and when they were forming APC. Now it's not their turn. They are the ones that started the Christian genocide. They are the one even fly the kite then. Target Christian genocide. Now the same thing they planted now fall on them. And you can see that they are now grasping with how to respond to such threat. they are not bold enough to say it. They are not bold enough to come out in clear terms what they want to do. Because they have failed in so many regards. And that is the reason I think the political leaders we are mentioning, we would like to even to just take a back seat, not to say anything that may maybe incite whoever against them, or some other things that they think they can retain or sustain their interest, their goodwill with the foreign nations.
Right, the program is Searchlight on Oluyole 98.5 FM. Let's have this quick break and we'll be back. Alright, it's good to know you're still there, and the program is still Searchlight on Oluyole 98.5 FM. And the topic for discussion this afternoon is alleged anti-Christian genocide and America's threat of military action in Nigeria. My guest is an erudite lawyer. He's a barrister at law and seasoned public affairs analyst, Barrister Bimpe Adelowo. To be part of the program, we welcome your questions and contributions. You can reach us on 070-5555-1985. 070-5555-1985 is the number to call. Like I said, we welcome your questions and contributions on the program. Now, Barrister Adelowo, assuming the Americans do carry out their threat of military action in Nigeria, what would that mean to the other superpowers, and what would be their predictable course of action? Remember, they also have interest in Nigeria, like we said. Well, let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
How are you, my dear brother?
Fine, thank you, sir.
I'm Evangelist Oluyole from Okwaraba.
Good to have you, sir.
My barrister, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
I really appreciate you, sir.
Yes, sir.
You have done very well. God will continue to bless you, sir.
Amen, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
it
well,
has happened and it has happened.
Well, that's from your end. Please do well to call us back, 070-5555-1985. We are talking about what will be the predictable course of action of other superpowers in the event that the U.S. carries out its threat of
you know that all of them have seen Africa as their as their domain. Let me say, as their farm, where they can derive harvest. Let me say, as their farm, they can harvest goodies, economic, whatever. And suppose America carry out that threat. The first implication is that the other world power will be losing most of African allies.
Okay.
And that is what many of them would like to protect. France would like to protect it. More so, they've already lost some. Then losing Nigeria will be a great loss for all other world power. Russia, that is moving around all those smaller countries around Nigeria.
Let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good to have you back, sir.
Evangelist again, sir.
All right, please go ahead.
I wanted to ask a barrister before the line was up. I said it has happened and it has happened, and the present government is confused. How do you think this problem can be solved without the intervention of the American again? Thank you.
Thank you. Well, the Americans have insisted. Well, they seem to be quite serious about that.
Yes, they are very serious about it because they have intel that no one has. They have the same intelligence that our own government has.
And they refuse to act.
And they refuse to act on them. Because we have been playing politics. Now, a lot of things is happening. We've already profiled a particular tribe in Nigeria to be the one that fomenting troubles.
And the Fulani.
The Fulani. And you see the way even security agencies handling any complaints against them. And all this information is available to Americans. The first thing, if we can persuade, the only thing we can do, the government can do to persuade Americans against this threat, is to be up and doing. They should leave politics alone. It should be seen that truly they are fighting this insurgency war.
It doesn't mean the Americans want to give us that chance.
Because they've tolerated us for a while. If they are, of course they've kidnapped a Chinese here, but Chinese governments feel unconcerned. But you know how America handles its own citizens. They've kidnapped a lot of people, of their, a lot of their citizens here, rescued, even without input of Nigerian government. And they have. We have a treaty with them. We have a lot of agreement with them, and we even issue of our computer, a lot of things like that, software. We signed a lot of agreement with them.
And they said they are going to revoke all that.
All that. They have a lot of aids that most of our politicians are sitting on. A lot of aids for the benefit of citizens of Nigeria. But rather than utilize it to better the life of Nigerians, they are using it to better their own life and the life of their children and cronies.
But what is your take on the theory that Washington is perhaps not happy about certain aspects of the economic policies and reforms of the current government in Nigeria? For instance, the 15% import duty on refined petroleum products, which they say is bound to hurt them as the biggest supplier of refined fuel imports to Nigeria.
If it is that alone, you know that it was America that started the issue of tariff on certain.
So some are saying they want to destabilize us using the volatile matter of religion.
Maybe I don't
because
see,
of this economic interest.
I don't see it that they want to destabilize us. If we do the needful,
okay.
If we have,
they won't have an excuse.
Of course. But because our world is cracked and opened, so the lizard gain entry and then start doing whatever. It's not their fault, it's our fault. Rather than focus on our problem and leave America outside whatever, now we are the one to put our situation together and put our affairs together in order to better the lot of our society and our people. But when we fail to do that, the foreigners will do that for us, and it's going to be dangerous.
Well, the British, our former colonial masters, the Commonwealth, are they throwing us under the bus? They've not said anything
At all. At all. At all.
And I thought the British should be the first to speak.
To speak. And you know that maybe there is a kind of collaboration between the British and American.
A Western conspiracy for the scramble for and partitioning of a disintegrated Nigeria.
I think that is possibility, and then that's what we are working towards. You know that an American has already predicted that so year the Nigeria we disintegrated into different parts, but that didn't happen at a particular year. But we don't know. But the way we conduct our affair also shows that this country may not be one country later in the future. Because we have not lived as a nation. we have not lived to show the external world that we are capable of handling our own affairs. What economic policies we have that is homegrown. When we are talking about reforms, the reform that's tailored by these Bretton Woods institutions, not homegrown. The reform we see on paper, GDP you see on paper, but has no reflections on the day-to-day lifestyles of our people, living standard. All those things, if we cannot correct, we can't take that one, I mean, as point of duty to do that. It shows that whoever comes outside will continue to make us and sit upon our economic factors and some other things to still control us, because we failed. We've not shown a kind of slight seriousness that we want to put ourselves together. Even those people at the ends of affair, they didn't show that. They have houses, they have properties, they have foreign accounts. They put all the Commonwealth in those countries. Quickly, Senator Akpabio, quickly withdraw whatever anyone alleged him to have said. So who am I? Because they knew that Americans understand them perfectly.
All right, but as we wind down, I want to ask this, and very briefly, our time is fast spent. I understand that as we speak, Nigeria does not have an ambassador in the United States.
It's not in the United States. We say all over. I think all other missions. We don't have,
because the president says to name ambassadors.
Yes.
But if you were Nigeria's foreign affairs minister, or even if you are in charge of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, what would you be telling Mr. President at this time?
This time, I think it is a very difficult job to do. Because if I were, before it gets to this stage, I think I would have advised Mr. President to have a diplomatic interaction before this public outburst. Because America has concluded. They've already, they've already have their findings, information, you understand? And they've concluded on what's the, of course, you know that the Secretary to the Department of War was the one even said that they are fully ready.
They seem to know what targets they want to eat, because you were talking about them putting the aircraft carrier in the Gulf of Guinea.
Yes, I think we're only stressing ourselves, because they have their targets, and their target is anything that's going around where they have interest, not entire Nigeria. And they know that these bandits, insurgents, and some terrorists, they are being sponsored by their counterparts, their rivals.
Oh.
They understand that very well. Well, remember that we should know that even around where the Chinese have been mining our raw materials, you discover that we have a lot of issue kidnapping around that side. They pay them to destabilize the community around that places, in order to continue to carry out all their unlawful activities there. They won't pay any. In fact, they carry more than what they sign. What of our gold, uranium, and some others? Is there any one audit? We have that department that can audit all our. What has happened in our mining sites?
All right, but it's been an interesting time. We could go on and on, but we just have to go. The program has been Searchlight on Oluyole 98.5 FM, and we've been discussing alleged anti-Christian genocide and America's threat of military action in Nigeria. My guest, Barrister Bimpe Adelo, lawyer and seasoned public affairs analyst. Thank you for coming, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, next week is another time, and we'll be back with another topical issue on Searchlight on Oluyole 98.5 FM. My name is Tola Teriba, your anchor on the program. Bye-bye.
Oluyole FM 98.5.
You do the oldies better than anyone else.
Money that they come from heaven, do better till money go come.